Welcome back again. Here I am with another new video explaining some other sales scenario with the help of SAP. So, as I told you in my previous videos, I'll be explaining the business process and then uh, probably mapping that into the SAP system, and then carry out the business process in the SAP system. So, hope you're all going through my previous videos which I had uploaded related to intercompany, the basic sales cycle, and some introduction stuff to SAP. Well, this is another video which would rather be very much useful to you because I'm going to explain third-party sales scenario using this video. So basically, people, you might be having an idea of what a third-party sales scenario is, but yeah, the name itself suggests what it means. However, configuring it into SAP is not that complicated, although, but yeah, you need to know some basics into SAP, uh, the basic configuration settings, the basic field, fields which are responsible for setting up a third-party sales scenario in SAP. So that is what I'm going to explain you about in the next 30 to 35 minutes. So, what is a third-party sales business process? In fact, a third-party sales business process could be represented by this blocks that I have made using different colors. So this is our company, which has the company code, which is named as ABCD, and this is a customer who's going to place an order with us for a particular product, and this is a vendor who would supply the product. Okay, so there are three parties coming into picture when there is a third party sales scenario. In normal sales, we only dealt with a company and its customer. Right. So in third party sales scenario, you will have a company, a customer, and a vendor coming into picture. Because what happens in third party is that the company mm, satisfies the customer's requirement with the well help of a vendor. So here the company is not going to manufacture the product. It's the vendor who is going to supply the product to the customer. So what happens in this scenario is that customer places an order with our company ABCD. The company creates a sales organization for this, and based on this customer's requirement, it will ask its vendor to have the product manufactured and then delivered to the customer. Okay, so why would a third-party sales scenario come into picture? It would come into picture. It would be coming into picture when a company is a trading company. Let's say this company called ABCD is a trading company. It doesn't have its own manufacturing base. Rather, it has a lot of contacts, and it has a good customer base, and it has done its marketing so much that it has established certain customers which place order, like these customers place order only with this company code, because this is a well-known company and it has marketed, it has a good very nice goodwill in the market, and these companies know this company, and this company will fetch the product from the vendor and ask the vendor to deliver it. Okay, so the pricing terms can be different between the customer and the company, and the vendor and the company. Okay, because if this company code ABCD is going to ask this vendor to deliver the material to this customer, so this company code has to pay something to the vendor for the product that it's going to deliver to this customer. And secondly, the company code is finally going to charge the customer. Okay, so there can be a markup, like let's say the vendor charges $90 for a product, okay, to company ABCD, while this company ABCD would add a markup to this $90 and sell it to the customer for, let's say, $100. Okay, so this is how this company gets its commission and a profit percentage upon selling the product through a vendor. So this company need not have a manufacturing plant. It just needs to have good contacts, a goodwill, have good marketing campaign, so that it attracts good customers and these customers place an order to the company. Finally, uh, it also needs to have good relationship with the vendors as well. So it needs to have the correct vendor, uh, or rather options of vendors who provide the material at the least cost with good quality. So this company plays an important role. The contacts of this company code ABCD with the customer and the vendor is going to play an important role in a third party business process. Okay, so now that we have known what a third party sales business process is in real time, let's now understand what it is like in the system, in the SAP ERP system. So we are dealing with the SAP SD component or application of ERP, SAP ERP. And in this, how do we configure the third party sales process? Okay, I've clearly mentioned the names of each of the organizational units. Okay, so I have a company code ABCD. This is a customer which I have created in the system, which is represented by the number 112. I have a vendor which is represented by the number 19. Okay, there is a name given to this customer, a name given to this vendor as well. So I'm going to display all this stuff into the SAP system so that you have a better idea of how this customer is created, how this vendor is created. I have explained about the company code in my previous video as well, that I had created a structure, an enterprise structure for a company code ABCD. It has a sales organization which takes care of sales activities. It also has a purchasing organization which takes care of the purchasing activities. So for this company code, we will have a sales org taking care of sales activities. We also have a purchasing org by the same name, in fact, which takes care of the purchasing activities for this company code. Why do we need a sales org and purchasing org for this company at the same time? It's because we, being a trading company, we'll have to, we need a sales organization or an organizational unit that represents a sales organization to sell the product to the customer. At the same time, we need a purchasing organization, ABCD, to procure the material from a vendor and take care of the purchasing activities for this company. And hence, in a third party sales scenario, you have an interface with the application of SAP ERP, because purchasing organization is coming into picture. At the same time, you also have an interface with the selling application. That is but obvious because this is a sales process. So people, this is the customer number that I have created. Remember that this customer number has been created for this company code. So the customer is for this company code ABCD. Okay, so this customer is going to place an order to this company, and the sales area through which this company will sell the product is ABCD ABAB, which I have previously created as an enterprise structure. Mhm. And I have created a vendor, and this vendor is again for the same company code, because uh, it is the purchasing organization of this company code ABCD that will take care of the purchasing activities and discussions with this vendor. So this vendor 119, which is the vendor code, is created for this company code ABCD and purchasing org ABCD of this company code. So purchasing org ABCD is responsible for taking care of procurement activities for the company code ABCD. So the purchasing org ABCD will deal with the vendor 19, and hence we need to create it for the purchasing org ABCD and company code ABCD. And similarly, customer needs to be created for sales area ABCD, because this is the medium
through which you will be selling it to the customer. The end customer is 112, right? So these are the things I'm going to explain. But before going ahead, let me explain you certain things that you need to take care of. Okay. First is the material master item category group. So a material master needs to be created for a third party material. So as this company is not going to manufacture its products, uh, in spite of that, there needs to be a material master existing in the system so that it could sell the product or procure the product. So as it is not being manufactured, there is a distinguishing factor field in the material master called as item category group, which will distinguish this material as a third party material, which means that it is not manufactured internally through our production plant. Instead, it is procured externally. So this is a standard item category group, BANS, which means third party item. So this one particular setting is responsible for uh, stating that the material that is created with this item category group is not being manufactured internally. It needs to be procured from a vendor and sold to the customer. And let us come to this one by one, because instead of me explaining all the steps right now, I would rather explain or prefer to explain this when we come across or when we are actually having a look at the material master. So I have created one material which is not manufactured in our company ABCD. Instead, it is procured from a vendor. So let me mention it over here. A material master. I have created a material master. Okay, it's better to mention over this side so that you have a clear distinction of it. Material ABCD. I guess it's two. Yeah, this is the material number or the material code that I have created in SAP, which has a description as third party material. Okay, so now what we are going to do is that I will show each one of these components that I have created in the system, how I have created for which sales org, which sales area, which company code I have created each of the components. So these are the components that I am talking about. Let me just give this as the same color. So these are the three important components which I'll be displaying. Company code is already created, so I won't be showing this again. So sales org, ABCD, purchasing org is also created. So let's discuss about these three components which are must for a third party sales scenario. So let's go into SAP ERP. Here you go. This is the ERP home screen, or you may call it the SAP Easy Access menu. In this, I want to check the customer master data. So the transaction code for customer master data is XD03 for displaying the customer master. So I'll just mention the transaction code over here, XD03, XK03, MM03. So here I enter the customer number, it is 112, and if I click on the sales area part, it will show me the sales areas for which this customer is created. So as we have the default sales area, this is the sales area for which this customer has already been created. So when I click OK, it will show me the details of the customer or display the details of the customer for which I have created this customer. So as I told you, create a customer for company code ABCD and sales area ABCD, division AB and distribution channel AB. So that is what I've done. If you go to the sales area data, you could see the details. Okay, it's just some it's just master data that I have created. I have entered some parameters for pricing. You could see this parameter for pricing. This is the parameter for shipping, delivery priority and shipping conditions. The delivering plant, which is responsible to deliver the material for this customer. Okay, so these are the information that I have entered. The tax information, the Incoterms, and the partner functions. So this customer is a sold to party, bill to party, payer, and ship to party. So all of the partner functions are being performed by the same customer code. So this customer would be the payer, billed party, can be a payer, billed party, shipped party. Okay, so in our case we are using the same customer code as the shipped party, payer, billed party, and sold party. So let me display the vendor xk03 is the T code for this. So I have mentioned over here, and I have a vendor master 19 created. Yes, and I have created it for the company code ABCD because I want to procure the material for this company code, and purchasing org AB, which is responsible for taking the procurement activities for this company code. Let me display you the purchasing data, which is important, and only you could have a look at the address data. Address data, I have given this as the third party vendor. So this is the vendor we will be looking for when we want to order a material. Sorry, we want to send a material to our customer from a vendor. So that's why this vendor code is represented by a third party vendor. This description is being given. Given the address, whatever the mandatory fields are, let us go to the purchasing data. Here in the purchasing data, you could give the order currency, the PO purchase order currency. The purchase order that will be created would be created in this currency. The terms of payment that you have agreed with your vendor. I have checked one more box called as automatic purchase order creation. So this checkbox is responsible for automatically creating the purchase order using the transaction code ME59. Okay, so this is the vendor master. So these are the important settings that you need to know from the vendor perspective. Remember that it needs to be created for ABCD company code and purchasing org ABCD, and you could activate this automatic purchase order creation so that it could be automatically created using ME59T code. Alright, why this is required, I'll give you an idea of this shortly. Next is the material master. Let me display the material master. As you know, the transaction code is MM03. Now this is third party material that I have created. In the previous video, that is the intercompany process, I was using ABCD1, remember that. This is specifically a third party item that I have created. Let me show you the sales data for this. Probably I've created the purchasing data as well. So I've created it for plant ABCD, purchasing sales are ABCD, and so these are the details. Main important thing to note down over here is sales how to. You could see the item category, the standard item category that category group to be specific is that I have used is BANS, and the description for this is third party item. Now this is an important tweak or setting that would differentiate a normal material which has an item category group NORM with that of a material which has an item category BANS. So now this is a third party item. If you could check the details by clicking F4, you could see NORM was the item category used for normal material or the standard item. Let me just show you NORM. Here is the standard item, and let me show you the BANS. So it's third party item. Alright, so this material is kind of a third party item material, and this setting is responsible for making it as a for making the system consider it as a third party item which is not manufactured internally. Instead it's manufactured externally from some vendor. Okay, so these are the settings that I have done for sales general plan data. It's just the generic information that I have entered. I have maintained the purchasing view as well for material and plant ABCD so that it could be procured as well. So I'll exit. This is how the material master is being created. Okay, now let's go through the steps of the third party sales process. The customer would place an order with company code ABCD. So this company code ABCD creates a sales order for that customer. Sales order will be created for customer 112 in company code to satisfy this customer's requirement, we create a sales order for customer 112 in company code ABCD. Okay, and sales area of course ABCD ABAB. Okay, I'll mention that. Second step, once you create a sales order, this setting in the material master item category group, which I just showed you for this material ABCD2, will determine an item category TAS in the sales order. Okay, you should be aware of how item category determination takes place. So item category determination in the sales order takes place on the basis of item category group of material master. Secondly, the sales document type. Thirdly is we also have higher level item category. So these are the parameters which determine the item category in the sales order. So once this item category TA is determined, based on this item category, you have the scheduling category determined. So how is the scheduling category determined? As you should be aware, this is what I'm expecting. Scheduling category is determined on the basis of item category plus MRP group. It's the MRP type. Okay, so for this item category TAS, the scheduling category determined is CS. Now these are all standard item category, scheduling category, item category group. Okay, so this scheduling category CS has settings in such a manner that once the sales order with an item category TAS and scheduling category CS is saved, it will generate a purchase requisition. So once the sales order is saved, a PR is created. PR is nothing but purchase requisition. Now, what is a purchase requisition? Purchase requisition is a purchase order. Like in sales order, we in the sales cycle, normal sales cycle, what we have? We have inquiry, correct? We create a quotation after that, correct? So similarly, PR and then the final sales order in the sales application. So similarly, we have a purchase requisition which is in a rough stage wherein the vendor is not yet finalized, but just the requirement of the material is being shared with our vendors. So at that level, we create a purchase requisition. It means that we have requested a quote from our vendors for the material that you want to buy or sell to the end customer. So a purchase requisition is created, sales order saved, and PR purchase requisition is created automatically. That so this is the speciality of the setting that we do in the material master item category group, which leads to identification of the item category TAS and in turn leads to determination of scheduling category CS in the sales order. Now let me display these things to you. Firstly, I have shown you the item category group in the material master is BANS. Secondly, the item category for third party is TAS. Now what is TAS? TAS is item category. Well, let's see what is the specialty of TAS and CS, scheduling category CS. The configuration for TAS and CS is in the configuration guide, implementation guide part, that is the SPRO screen. So the transaction code to view VOV7 to view the item category. Let's first go and see the details of the item category, how it's configured. So let's go to the item category. Here are all the item categories that have been created in this server. I go to TAS. Remember that in intercompany or the normal sales, the item category that is being identified by the system is TAN, that is the standard item. Now this is TAS, which is again third party item. What is the specialty of this is that the billing relevance indicator is F. Okay, this is the one differentiating factor for this item category TAS. Now what is F? Let's go and check out. F means order related billing document. So for the sales order that you create for the third party item, you you can create a billing document based on order only, because the setting is such in the billing relevance. Order related billing document, and read what is the next text. Status according to the invoice quantity. Okay, so it is not going to according to the invoice quantity in the sense the so in this third party process, when the vendor gives you an invoice, so whatever quantity that the invoice is billed for, only for that quantity you would be able to bill the order. Okay, let me just show you. So you have created a sales order, suppose. After this you create uh, there won't be delivery in this case in a third party scenario, because it's the vendor who's going to take care of it. So this will create a PR. From PR you create a purchase order. From purchase order, it's not you who yeah, correct, you will be doing this, because you need to give your vendor a purchase order so that he manufactures the material. The purchase order is given to the vendor, and the vendor delivers the material from his end to the customer. Once the material is delivered, he will not bill the customer, he will give you his bill to you, to your company. So this vendor will generate an invoice. Okay, so this invoice is given to you. So what do you do against that invoice? You do an invoice receipt. This is again part of the material management module of SAP, or the application of SAP, invoice receipt. So the quantity that is there in this invoice that the vendor has given to you, you could only bill for that quantity. Let's say the sales order has 10 quantities, but in reality, the vendor was you also have given him a purchase order of 10 quantities. Okay, to supply 10 quantities to the material, but the invoice, the vendor could not send the material in a single go, so he only sent 8 quantities, and he delivered only 8 quantities to the end customer. Okay, so he will only generate an invoice for 8 quantities. Of course he cannot generate it for 10 quantities, because he has only delivered 8 quantities. So what you will do is that you will do an invoice receipt in your SAP system for 8 quantities only, and finally after this you will bill the end customer, you will invoice the end customer. So when you're invoicing the end customer, this setting F, what does it say? It says order related billing document status according to the invoice quantity. So this invoice that he is referring to is the invoice that the vendor gives us. So invoice quantity, so it's the quantity 8, it's not 10, which was there in the sales order. So the invoice that you generate based on this sales order would only bill for 8 quantities and not for 10 quantities. So this end customer will be billed, the end customer will be billed only for 10 quantities, customer 112. So 112 will be billed only for 8. So Who takes care of this? It is the item category setting that you have done, order related billing status according to invoice quantity. So not only this, there is one more particular tweaking that you need to do in the copy control, which helps in detecting what quantity is mentioned in the invoice from the vendor. Okay, that part I'll tell you. But yeah, this is one setting in the item category DAS. Now let's go and check the scheduling category CS. What is the specialty of this? What is responsible for creating an automatic PR from the sales order? What is PR? PR is a purchase requisition. So why does it create an automatic PR? So let's go to transaction code VOV6 for checking out the scheduling categories. So it is CS. So this is a standard scheduling category, and let's check this configuration of this. So this is how the item category looks like. It doesn't have a movement type. See, this is the differentiating factor from the normal scheduling category that you have in a normal sales cycle. It will have a movement type for sure. Okay, if you're working on a standard item, which is a tangible item which needs to be delivered to the customer, it will have a movement type. It doesn't have a movement type because delivery is not coming into picture, and you're not going to move the material, or you're not going to carry out inventory movement from your own warehouse. So there's no question of delivery in this, and that's why there's no movement type. Now moving on to these three fields: order type, item category, and account assignment group. Now these are the factors which tell the a sales order creation program to create a purchase requisition of type NB of the order type. Now these are the order types in material management module. So this is an order type for creating a purchase requisition standard. So, and this is an item category in material management third party item. This is an account assignment group related to material management third party. So if you mention these three parameters, the system, when saving the sales order, will pick up these three parameters and create an order, a purchase requisition of order type, a purchase order type NB, purchase requisition type NB, item category 5, that is third party, and account assignment group 1. Okay, so this information that is provided is going to force the system to create a purchase requisition once the order is saved with, which has a scheduling category CS determined. Keep this in mind. This is a very important setting, and this is not there. So in standard scheduling category, let's say PD, we'll check for PD, which is responsible for sending out the material from our own plant. Let's check some other normal MRP. So you could see this is the normal scheduling category, goods issue delivery. This has a movement type, but it doesn't have any of the values in this field. So as there is no value in this field, the system doesn't go ahead and create a purchase requisition for this, because that is not needed. This scheduling category is for in-house procurement. Like, you'll be checking the warehouse stock and then taking the material out from there. It's for that, or else it's transfer. So it could even be transferred to MRP, Material Requirement Planning Department, to assess the requirement of the material and then accordingly plan the delivery. So these are the parameters you need to take care of, and this is one thing you need to know, SAP system. So let's just mark this scenario with a different color. Yeah, the sales order you need to create. Sales order saved PR purchase requisition is generated. So for this purchase requisition, what do you do? Convert PR into PO. Now PO is purchase order. Purchase requisition is kind of a rough PO. So once PR is converted into PO, it is finalized. So it will have a vendor to whom we are going to approach for the material. It will have the price that we have agreed with the vendor. So that would be the price that your company will be paying the vendor for delivering the services or delivering the product to the end customer. Okay, so convert PR into PO. Okay, this could be done using T code ME59. So as I told you, there is an integration between SD and MM. So automatic conversion of PR into PO is done using ME59, Once a PO is created, against that PO, the vendor will raise an invoice. So you will get that invoice from the vendor. The vendor will send you the invoice. Once that invoice is received, you will verify the invoice. So verification of invoice. Invoice verification is done. So this is another step in material management. Okay, invoice verification. This is done using T code MIRO. Okay. As soon as the invoice verification is done, then you are okay to release the invoice, the sales invoice. I'll talk about the sales invoice to the end customer using normal SAP transaction VF04, VF01. Alright, so I'll just mark this process in a color, specific color. I'll mark this with some other color. So these are the things you got to take care of. So these steps I have mentioned in order to create a automatic PO from PR. You could follow these steps. So you could just note down or have a look at it probably, or you could even adopt purchase requisition into a PO by directly going to transaction code ME21N. Okay, this could also be done. So what happens is that in PR there is no vendor finalized. It's just kind of an information that you have sent to all of the options that you have. So you have numerous vendors who supply the same product. You will give them a requirement like, I want this material, please quote your price and the quality of the product and the description of the product. So then the vendors would respond back, and once the vendors respond back, you'll choose the best cost effective and with good quality vendor and finalize that PR into a PO. PO will have the vendor, price and the material that you want. Final, it's kind of a legal document. So this PO would be released to the vendor. Vendor will start manufacturing the product. Once he starts manufacturing the product, he'll deliver the product. Once it's completed to the customer, he'll raise the invoice to our company. Our company will again raise the invoice to customer. So this is how the cycle goes on. Let's check all these things into SAP. I hope I'm pretty much clear about what I'm trying to tell. If it's not clear, please directly comment out, people. Let's go into the SAP system. Create a sales order. So remember that I'm creating a sales order for company code ABCD. In the sales area ABCD, distribution channel AB and division AB. Sales order type is OR. It's normal sales order. I'm not doing any changes. Meanwhile, I would like to show you one more thing. Okay, let me enter the customer based upon our entry sheet. It's 112, 112. I want the same ship to party. We need to deliver the material at the same location. So this is third party sale. Okay, I have it. I'll enter the PO date. This is the customer PO date, remember. So I'll enter the PO number. I have other things populated. I'll enter the material, which is ABCD2. It's not 1 because in the previous intercompany sales we used 1. That was an internally manufactured product. This is an externally procured product. Let's say I'll enter quantity 2. So I have a specific price that I'll charge to the customer, okay, which I have maintained using week 11. Okay, so here I go. Let me enter the plant ABCD. Okay, even though the plant is mentioned ABCD, it's not actually, it's kind of a virtual plant of our company. Okay, it's not actually this plant which is going to supply the product. It's the vendor who's going to supply the product. This is how it is in. The points to note down for you people over here is, so it's asking me the purchasing group. Let me enter the purchasing group. You could enter the available, you could check the available purchasing groups and choose one of them. It's okay. Purchasing group is nothing but a group of people responsible for taking care of the purchasing activities for that organization, for that purchasing organization. Okay, so the point to note down over here is the item category identified as TAS. This identification happens on the basis of the material master item category group, that is BANS, which I had told you earlier. Okay, this is a important parameter. Remember the net price is 300. It's based upon the condition type PR00. Okay, let me show you how the identification takes place. How is this TAS identified? Our sales document type is OR. If you could go into the header details, you could see OR. And item category group is BANS. And let's check. There's no higher level item category over here. So let's go to the transaction code where determination is mentioned. Sorry, oops, wrong transport, VOV4, I guess. Let's see. Yes, this is the transaction code. Position, enter the sales document type in our case OR. Item category group is BANS. Yeah, there is one more field called as item usage. This comes into picture only for packing materials or which have certain things hard coded in the program. So that only in those cases it will have item usage coming into picture. So in our case, we are using a normal material. Yeah, it is a third party, but it's not something which is complicated, like a packing material or something like that. Higher level item category would come only in cases you have a BOM structure. That is a bill of material structure. There is no BOM coming into picture. So let's keep these two blank, these two fields blank, and let's see what is the proposed or the default item category determined against this. So I'll mark this. The default item category is TAS. Okay, and hence it causes TAS to be identified in the sales order. Okay. Secondly, based on this, we have a schedule line category identified. If you go to schedule lines, you have a schedule line category CS identified. Okay. So how does this come? Let me show you. So it is VOV5, I guess, slash VOV5. Here you go. So as I had told you, schedule line category determination takes place on the item category that has been identified for the material TAS plus MRP type of the material. So item category is TAS, MRP type is blank. So I'll just use this. And for TAS, blank MRP type, this is MRP type. The default schedule line category is CS. Okay, that is the reason it has identified CS. Okay, and you know the speciality of CS is that it will generate a purchase requisition using the purchase requisition type NB, item category 5, and account assignment group 1. So these are the three parameters required to create a purchase requisition in material management application of SAP ERP. So those are provided by item category CS. Okay. So now that you have all the things in place, let me show you the pricing as well. Pricing is, I have used the standard pricing procedure, that will be AAUS for US, and I have maintained a customer price. So this is the price that I will be charging to the customer, PR00, which is 150 USD per one piece of that material. So this is third party material ABCD2. So one quantity of this material would be for 150. So the total goes to 300. There are no taxes that I have taken into consideration. So let's check the completion log of this document. Go to edit and completion log. It's complete. So let's save this document. Okay, as I told you, saving the sales order would create a sales order. Along with it, it will generate a purchase requisition automatically. So where to go and check the purchase requisition? Let me show you. Here you go. We have the sales order 1332229 saved. So let me just try to display this order which I have created and note it down in my Excel file. Third party sales order 13329 has been created. I'll just go into this. So now I'll show you where is the purchase requisition shown up. Go into the item level details, go into the schedule line category. If you go over here and this particular section, this particular column, or yeah, this particular column was blank when I was creating the before saving the sales document. Now it is come up with certain value, which is nothing but a purchase requisition. If you could see, the description is purchase requisition. This is the purchase requisition document number which has been generated by the system automatically for the material that I want to procure from a vendor, that is ABCD. Okay, so when this purchase requisition is created, it means that the purchasing team of your company has requested information from different vendors so that we could come to a decision on which vendor to select for procuring the product or delivering the product to the final customer. Okay, so now that purchase requisition needs to be converted into a PO. Okay, so I'll note down the purchase requisition as well over here. PR is this, sales order is this. This purchase requisition is a rough form of purchase order. So because that doesn't have a vendor assigned to it, so in order to assign that, we go to ME59 in order to automatically create a PO. If you don't want to automatically create, if you want to manually add a vendor, then go to ME21N to create a purchase order from the purchase requisition. So it's taking some time. So I'll go by ME21N because it will be simpler for you. Because ME59N at times can be you need some configurations that needs to be followed in order to have automatic PO creation. Okay, so this is the screen how a purchase order creation screen looks like. Okay, you have the purchase order type over here. You need to enter the vendor over here, and this is the header details. This is the item overview. Okay, you could enter the item, that is the material that is being ordered, and so on and so forth. So you need to enter the vendor's number that you have created. 19 would be the vendor. So let me firstly create it with reference to the, see, now when I click on document overview, it will show me this particular screen over here. Here you have this button called as selection variant. In this, click on my purchase requisitions. Okay, it will show you all the purchase requisitions that are available. Okay, so this is the purchase requisition, right? Now execute this. It will show you the purchase requisition over here. Okay, and the details of it. It has only one item. That's item number 10. Select this and click on adopt. So it will adopt the purchase requisition as it is into this document without a vendor. We haven't finalized a vendor. Okay, but let's say in our case we directly finalize the vendor 19, which we have mentioned over here. Okay, we don't go for multiple vendor. I mean, we have received requests from multiple vendor. Consider a scenario, but we finalize this vendor 19, which is a third party vendor. So it will only copy the material that is there and the vendor. Okay, so the vendor that we have is 19 over here, third party vendor. We enter the vendor details over here. We enter the material details over here. We check the organizational data. It has the purchasing org, the purchasing group, and the company code. So it means that this is the purchasing org which is ordering the material from this vendor, and this is the company code which is ordering the material from this particular vendor, and it is this material and the quantities too. Okay, but you would be amazed to see that the net price over here is 100 USD per one piece. Okay, so it will be 200 in total. So this is how you could maintain the markup. So for end customer, I'm charging $300 for the same two quantities of this material, but while procuring from a vendor, I will pay him only $200 for two pieces. So like it would be $100 profit for me. So this can be scenarios. All right. So enter the details. Here you go. Check for any messages or directly you could click on this check If there are any errors, it will show no message issued during check. Alright, you could go ahead and save this purchase order and it will generate a number for this purchase order. So you have converted the purchase organization, purchase requisition into a purchase order. Okay, so you have a standard PO created under the number 4500. Let me copy this number. When you click on this button, it will immediately take this number over here, and you could even have a look at it. I'll mention the PO number over here. Okay, so you have created a PO. PO is nothing but a legal document that you give to your vendor and ask him to manufacture the product and deliver it to the customer. Okay, so what does the vendor do? At his end, he'll take this PO. Against this PO, he'll generate a sales order and so on and so forth, generate a delivery and send it to the customer. Okay, once he sends it to the customer, he'll generate an invoice and give it to you. Okay, so you need to create an invoice for this purchase against this purchase organization. You need to do an invoice verification against this purchase requisition. So how is invoice verification done? It's done through transaction code MIRO. But before that, let me try to create. So as I don't the sales order doesn't have a delivery, so this sales order that I have created, it doesn't have a delivery. Let me try to build this sales order directly using VF01. Let me check if it's possible or not. Slash OVF01. I haven't done the invoice receipt. The vendor has not provided me the invoice yet. Okay, but before that, I'm trying to invoice this sales document. I'll try to execute this. Try to create an invoice. It says no billing documents were generated. See log. So it asks me to check there is some issue. We cannot create it right now. So there is a yellow error message saying that the item is not relevant for billing. Okay, item 10 is not relevant for billing. So it's not relevant for billing until you process the invoice receipt in the application. So invoice receipt is done against the PO number. So invoice receipt is done. Invoice verification or invoice receipt is done using transaction code MIRO. So let me go ahead and go to the transaction code MIRO. So we are receiving the vendor's invoice using MIRO transaction. So what you do is that you just need to enter the purchase order number in there, and it will automatically populate. Firstly, you need to enter the invoice date on which you are creating the invoice. So I'll enter today's date, that is 31. And here in this section, you need to choose purchase order as the reference document and enter the purchase order. Oh, sorry, this is not the purchase order number. I missed out. Okay, I'll have to take it from my Excel. I'll copy this purchase order number because against this I'm going to do invoice verification. That is, I'm going to receive an invoice against this purchase order from my vendor. So I'll enter the purchase order number over here and the item number, that is 10. So once I enter the details, it will tell you what is the balance. So if you could see over here, the balance is 200. Okay, you could check the invoice whether he has requested for 200 only, because that is what we are supposed to pay him based upon this purchase order that we had agreed. So I'll enter 200 as the amount over here, hit enter. Okay, and if you want to calculate tax, you would click on the tax calculation. Okay, and here you go. After this, it will show you a green signal over here, posted, can be posted. So now you can post this billing document. The balance remains 0, so there will be no balance with the customer. So you're doing an invoice receipt against the purchase order quantity. So it's kind of like verifying the customer's invoice, the vendor's invoice that he has sent to you, and you are telling that that's correct. If you save this document, the quantity that you have mentioned in over here, only that quantity you could bill to the end customer. But for that you need to save this. It is giving me this error because there is a period issue which I need to extend. Let me dynamically, on the other hand, extend the periods. Period slash o. Here you go, we are done. Let me try to simulate it. Let me create another one. MIRO, today's date, enter the PO number, 10 quantities, hit enter. So it will have this value, enter 200 over here. So enter the total pending amount. Is there? If you want to calculate taxes, you could enter taxes. 0% taxes are applicable. As I have switched off the taxes part. And you click on booking, okay, and save this. So that means the customer's invoice is correct and we have verified it successfully. So this is enter incoming invoice, company code ABC. This is an invoice for company code ABCD for buying the material from the vendor. Now save this. So once this saved, now if you try and create an invoice for the sales order using VF01, you could see the difference. Okay, let this document get posted first of all. So what did you do is that you created an invoice receipt against the purchase order. You verified the invoice, you received the invoice, you have received this incoming invoice from the customer, and document number dash 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 has been created. Okay, so you have done the posting of invoice, and for that invoice you will have to pay to the customer. So now this much is enough to the vendor. Now this much is enough for us to go ahead with the sales cycle. So where did we stop our sales cycle? We only created a sales order and then stop. We did not bill the end customer. Now you got to bill the end customer. Now all the transactions that happened after this were again with the vendor number 19. So all these transactions, invoice receipt, happened uh, with this vendor. Okay, let me mark it by a color. Okay, but now after the sales order, after these steps are done, you can generate a customer invoice, and this would be for the customer number 1. Now you have to go to VF01 and try to create a billing